And it's that time of year again. Time to think about your FSA and all those FSA dollars. And for those of you not sure what an FSA is, well, we have the expert here from the FSA store. Shawa Hausman joins us. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. And for people that aren't hanging out with us live on YouTube, we just had a great tech experience.
Oh my gosh, it was like everyone's worst nightmare. Oh my gosh.
They say it keeps getting better, and for me, it just keeps getting. I'm like,
I
what do I do?
mean,
Yeah.
it's like the apps and I mean, come on. I want to go back to the old days when people just called each other.
Well, luckily, with somebody like you in our corner, Shauna, FSAs are much easier than this technology. So for people that are new to this, maybe they're young, they've never had a job with an FSA, they're changing
Yeah.
jobs. Let's just talk about for those people briefly, what is an FSA?
So an FSA is the ability for you to put pre-tax dollars into an account. You get the money at the beginning of the year. So it's something that your employer basically manages. And so you elect the amount you want to put in. The money goes into your account on the first day of your, whatever your period is that your employer has chosen. For most people, that's January 1st. And then throughout the year, you can spend those pre-tax dollars on things like doctor's visits, orthodonture, things like that are, medical visits related, but you can also, you can buy glasses. You can also buy products, and that's what we sell at FSAstore.com. And most people are not aware of the variety of things that you can purchase. So, we're here to talk about that today because we believe that putting money in an FSA is something that everybody should do. And I think that when people realize what's covered, they're all going to want to put money in. So that's basically the gist of it. We have over 2,500 products. So when you think about that, there's a lot of things everyone's buying every day that they could use their money for and get it, essentially tax free.
Well, and that's the thing is that people hear this, this word pre-tax, and they don't think about what a big deal that is. But if you're
Right.
just the average person, it's like a 20% off sale, Shauna, for the average person, I think.
Well, almost 30. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on your household income, your income tax rate. But,
That's right, because you
um,
also have state tax as well, and
all of it.
maybe
Yeah.
it's all of that stuff. So when you were here a year ago, we were talking about there were still some COVID rules in place where
That's right.
you might have to spend some of it by the year end, you might not have to, and we kind of went over that, and it was just kind of I don't remember the term you used, but it was pretty funny about how it was kind of squishy, right? Are those
Well,
squishy rules gone? Do we have to do it now by December 31st this year in
yeah,
2022?
as we say, deadline is back.
Uh,
So money, during COVID, it was extended. The deadlines were eliminated both in 2020 and 2021. But the deal was all of that money that carried over was going to expire in 2022. So, that's the big deal because people likely have money, if you've been contributing for years, you may have money left over from last year and you may have money left over from 2020, and that's the thing that we're concerned about is that people are going to lose money that they carried over from the past 2 years without realizing it. um, and honestly, these platforms, these FSA management platforms are not really going to help you because when you go in, most of them are just going to show you your balance from this year, and they don't show you everything you have. You usually have to
oh,
click in and click on 2021 to see the money there, and you got to click somewhere else for
wow.
2020. So it's really challenging, and we've done a lot of research on this. It's estimated that most households are going to lose $600 this year,
Wow.
and that's billions. I mean, billions of dollars. When you think about that, billions that are going unspent. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, we did a story recently about, that unclaimed property that states have. One of our
Right?
stackers wrote us and said, "Hey, did you check?" Because they just checked for me and I had like $120 in the state of Texas. I didn't know
What?
I know, but $600 is a ton of money. And the
Oh my
fact that
gosh.
you click on this and you still might not see it is horrible.
Yeah. That's the terrifying part. We've been testing some of a lot of people that work with us, they've got spouses with FSAs in different platforms, and they're going in and they're saying, I just, I know we have more money. I'm not seeing the total amount. And then you've got to like kind of dig and look, you got to like click on a drop down and go into 2021 and then go into 2020. it is not easy. And, a lot of these, no one's really prepared for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that these folks that manage the FSAs, they don't have this very high tech, they're just not very high tech to begin with, but they never thought about this scenario. So, with people saying, oh my gosh, I went back to 2020 and I have like $240 in there and I didn't even realize it. But all of it, anything from 2020 and 2021 is all coming due on December 31st. And, most of 2020 will as well. Your employer may say you could carry a certain amount over. That will expire usually on March 15th. But they'll give you a little what they call grace period on the 2022 money. Maybe, your employer gets to decide. But everything from the past 2 years, it is done. It's done on the 31st. The date's coming up.
Yeah. Quick.
So yeah, we're very concerned. I mean, this is what we do every day, and we don't want people to lose their money. I mean, obviously, we think this is a good, it's a great tax benefit, but
Sure.
if people lose their money, they don't want to sign up again. They're frustrated, and that's the worst thing because it really is a great benefit, a financial benefit for people.
Shauna, let's dive into then some of the things that you can use that FSA money for. In fact, I have a question from, excuse me. I have a question from Katie, who couldn't be with us. She was asking about using her premiums for her insurance. Can she pay her premiums using FSA money? Can she use copays? Can she do copays with her FSA money?
Yes, you can anything like any of those copays, anything to do with your medical visits, you can use it for. I don't actually know if you can pay your premium, your insurance premium. That I would have to double check on, but I do know that when you go to the doctor and you're visiting, and let's say you broke an arm and you had to go to the hospital, that you can pay for that. Whatever they're charging, you can use it for all of those medical expenses. A lot of those things people are more familiar with. The typical like eyeglasses, doctor's visits, dental visits.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is, you're kind of putting money away and saving it for that scenario, right? Like, what if I break my arm in early December and I need to use it? But, from a financial point of view, you're kind of better off using it throughout the year because it's all your money, right? And I don't think people realize all of the things that they're buying throughout the year that they could be using it for, and then you're using it up. You don't risk losing it if you don't break your arm,
Yeah. Right, right. Well, let's
And
go through
hopefully people aren't frying their turkeys. That's the big thing. Don't fry your turkeys. Generally they explode.
I think that's why the air fryer is so big this year. So you don't
I
have
know.
that problem. Let's dive into some of those things. You talk about people don't know what some of the things are that they can use it for. Walk through
Right.
some of the things can I use the FSA for?
I mean, some of the things that are most surprising, and these are categories that have been added more recently, all of your over-the-counter medications. So you think about things you buy, right? People who take Zyrtec, for instance, and they take it every day of their life. I mean, that adds up to a lot of money throughout the year. You can use it on things like Zyrtec, Advil, Tylenol, all of that. So that's a category that got added not too long ago. Another category is all your feminine care products. People are buying those on a regular basis. They're not cheap. And everything related to that is covered. So, you're using that, on a monthly basis, you're buying Tylenol, Band-Aids, all those things. But even getting into some categories that are more surprising. So we have a whole section on the site we call surprisingly eligible. We have, you can get your breast pump there if you're an expectant mother, and baby health monitors. We have a lot of high tech gadgets that we've been adding, which are pretty cool. I think a lot of people have seen that the massage gun, they're advertising it everywhere.
Yes,
You
yeah.
can get that with your FSA dollars on our site.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's a biggie. That's a couple $100. There's like something called a chirp wheel. I don't know if you've seen this. You put it on the floor and you lay on your back and you kind of roll on it. If you're someone who's into exercise and all of that. I mean, I'm sitting at my desk all day long, so I use it because my posture is bad. You roll on this thing and it like cracks your spine into position. The thing I love and I use the most, sunscreen. I don't think people realize that all of your sunscreens are
Oh.
eligible. And it's not just like copper tone and things you would expect. It's like very high end. It's anything sunscreen. So we carry everything from the basic entry level price point to Super Goop, which is like the hottest brand right now. So people go out and you might spend like $20 a bottle. You come to us and you get that with pre-tax money, and that stuff's really popular now. So I'm always stocking up on that, and you're supposed to wear sunscreen year round. So, that I think people don't realize. It's not just generic products and basic cheap it's not. It's
Yeah.
really high level, big name brands. So
I buy my glasses with FSA dollars.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely that's something you can do. And I think that's one that I think a lot of people, they do that every year. A lot of people recognize that one,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's been for years. But yeah, that's a great thing to do. In fact, I just did that. So
That's fantastic. So tell me about the FSA store then. So I go there, I've got
mhm,
dollars left, and it sounds like it is all products that I
yeah,
can use. I don't have to worry about, is this eligible or not? Like I'm at a Target aisle. I know everything on
right.
the store then is eligible.
That's right. Yes. And that we pride ourselves in that. You don't have to have that worry. If you go to Amazon and they say it's FSA eligible, but the minute you add an item to your cart, they're going to show you 5 other items that are related that are not necessarily eligible. So people get really frustrated. And we hear a lot of times that they go and they try and shop elsewhere. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I got to the register. Half this stuff wasn't eligible. I was so frustrated. You come to us, it's all guaranteed. We do make 100% guarantee. And the other thing is that when you're buying it, it gets automatically, essentially approved by whoever's managing your FSA because they know us and we have these, arrangements where they recognize our name. It goes through. You don't have to worry that, maybe they're going to reject it or I have to go submit a receipt. You don't really have to do that with us because, we're such a trusted name that these platforms will essentially say, all right, that's 100% guaranteed. And you know that it's coming right out of your FSA account. You can shop right up until midnight on the 31st. A lot of stores won't guarantee that. But you could literally be shopping at 11:59 and place your order and it will go through in the right plan year, so
Ah,
a lot of the other guys won't charge until it ships. So
yeah.
you might do that, it might ship a week later and then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Dollars are, well, it's a double whammy. The
Yeah,
dollars are gone and you're spending next year's money, which you don't want to spend yet.
right, right.
Yeah.
And so
That's ugly.
there's a lot of these tricky rules and we try and make it easier for people. We've got a lot of articles, a lot of content. You get close to the end of the year and we're sending out emails. People sign up for something called a deadline alert on our site. So my suggestion is when you first get the money, you first pick this, you sign up for the program, go on the site, put a deadline alert. So people tend to they know all of this when they're signing up and that they sort of forget it, right? So
Yes. Right.
you go in and put it in and say, all right, my deadline's the 31st. Some people have a deadline that's the end of June, so you put it in and we start sending you kind of a countdown as you get closer so that you won't forget.
That's my favorite thing to do is set these alerts and reminders because I just don't want to trust my brain. You got 50,000 things going on,
I
and
know. That's
why
everyone's life is more hectic than ever these days, right?
I have a question from James here, Shauna. James said he's worried about getting laid off. I think like a lot of people, James might work in tech,
Right.
might work for a certain tech company. I don't know, but
That's right.
can he says, can he change his mind about contributing money to an FSA? Is there a way to take the money back? So he puts money in, can he take it
Right.
back without having to spend it on FSA products?
You can't take the money back, but you keep it. So what's interesting is the money goes into your account on the first of your plan period. So let's say January 1st, and you become unemployed. The employer doesn't take it back from you. So you leave, you're no longer contributing, but you get to keep the money, which is interesting. And they kind of account for that. Your employer does account for that. So you could get the money on the first of the year, get laid off 2 days later, but you now have $3,000 in your account that you're not paying out on a monthly basis. So that is what happens. Like the money goes in, let's say, and then you have 9 months of being unemployed. You're not contributing to it, but you already have it. So that's kind of an unusual thing about these accounts. You
Yeah.
can't pull it out for cash, but that's where I would suggest that people go to the site and see what's eligible because guaranteed there are things that you don't realize that you're buying every year, that you're buying on a weekly, monthly basis, and that's where you start to think what do I use? Make the list of your over the counter meds, what we were talking about before, feminine care products,
Yeah. Well, and
acne care. I mean, I go through a lot of that. I've got 2 teenage kids, you know?
Well, and like I was thinking earlier, James is still going to have these issues. I mean, he's still going to need all these different things, even though he doesn't have a
Exactly.
job. Doesn't mean that he doesn't need all these healthcare products. That's pretty cool. I did not realize that he keeps the money, but the rules still
Yeah.
apply then, right? So let's
Yes,
say he gets laid off January 2nd. He's got the $3,000. He now still the clock is still ticking it through
that's right.
December. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And so, you got to, if you do have $3,000 at the beginning of the year, then you really should sit down and make a list of things that you need to do, all your doctor's appointments you need to have. You need glasses. You can actually get hearing aids now, which just became eligible last month. And hearing aids are like thousands of dollars. And
Yeah.
you could come, our site, we sell them, or we sell them cheaper than if you got one with a prescription. These are non-prescription hearing aids. And you could save hundreds of dollars on these things because now they are eligible. So we're constantly adding new categories. It's worth checking it out. I have a lot of friends that have migraines. We just added this, high tech migraine relief products. It's not cheap, but when you get it on the FSA, you're saving that money. And people are saying that this thing is like curing their migraines. It's a device, you strap it around your head. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but people who are
Wow.
using it, it's like a top seller since we went live with it. So it may be more than just, you got to make the list of doctor stuff. You got to make the list of products you use every day. And then if the money's left over, you think to yourself, you know what, I get migraines. It's worth investing in that item. It may be a little more expensive, but if I have the money, I'll use that. Or if we sell bundles now that are kind of like putting it all together for you to make it easy. Let's say it's December 31st. You're at a holiday party, you're at a New Year's party, and you're like, oh no, I've got all this money. We hear this all the time. People are like at 11 p.m., they're
Oop, I lost your audio.
uh, going online. Now you can do bundles. You say, all right, I don't know what to buy. We say, go get the sunscreen bundle or go get the over the counter med bundle. Just click it and buy it. Like, don't lose your money. They're like, all right,
Yeah, I can imagine somebody, Shauna, 10, 9, 8. Oh,
they
crap.
do.
Like
I
FSA store.
mean,
Yeah.
and the truth is actually, it goes until midnight Pacific. So you have a little, you have a little bit of leeway there. I think is the sort of the secret thing they don't tell way to really to spend that money. You have a little tiny bit of flexibility there, but yeah, when it's done, it's done. So
I,
that's our
I'm
don't wait till the last minute. You're gonna kick yourself.
That's what I was thinking. If you're waiting till the last minute, if you were seriously hearing the countdown, you did it wrong. Like
It's not ideal. It's not ideal. But
yes.
if you see our sales, it's like a ski jump like you've never seen before. I've worked in retail for a long time, and you always talk about how holidays the big season, right? Gift giving. This we count down to midnight, and you cannot believe how many people are shopping in that last hour. It's just nuts. Don't do it to yourself. Shop earlier.
If you're hanging out with us on YouTube right now and you've got a question for Shauna, we have her. We have her for a couple more minutes. Tina and Gertrude, Karen, if one of you guys can check out YouTube, see if we have any questions over there while we have Shauna. And while we're doing that,
Yeah,
I have not a question, but a statement. I was going around your site, and you guys have a cool calculator on the site, by the way. So if people are contributing to an FSA,
right.
there is a maximum, but there really is an amount that's right for every family, and you kind of have a
That's right.
calculator of this is the amount to do.
Yeah, that's right. We want to make it so that you're putting the right amount in. You can put, this coming year, you're going to be able to put over $3,000 in, but that might not be right for you, right? So you need to really. That's why I suggest, making a list will help you do that on the site. You think about what you're going to need. Is everyone in the family going to get glasses this year? That changes it if as opposed to one person. Make a list of all the over-the-counter meds, the fem care, the acne care, all of those things that you're going to use on a regular basis. Think about any specialty items, like the migraine relief. We've got a lot. The massage gun. You're like, I am always tight. I need something really high tech. Put that on the list because that's a higher ticket item. and, the doctor's visits that you have regularly. Is anyone going to need orthodonture? You have to do a little planning, and then that will give you the idea of what to put in, because, the worst is having money left over. And, if people do, you have like $150 left over, let's say, you say, well, I'm going on vacation in December. Let me go get a bunch of sunscreen. I know I'm going to use it,
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Uh, Mark or ISISI, if you guys have questions, I have a note here from ISISI. Oh, cool. ISISI, I'd love to take part in that. But if either of you have a question for Shauna that you want to ask, I don't think that they do. Shauna, thank you so much for helping us save some money again this year.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Super.
Thank you for giving me some time off from my virtual office to join you in the virtual basement.
Absolutely. Anytime. All right. We did it.
I know.
Nice job, everybody.
All right. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Thanks a ton, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.